Does history begin with farce and end in tragedy, or is it the other way around? Enough of a tongue twister for you. And who said that? Was it Groucho Marx or was it the other Marx? You're going to have to figure that out for yourself after you watch the film that I'm about to recommend. Hi everyone, this is Ira Dubey. Thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. If you haven't done so, all you need to do is click on this button right here. I have just come back from watching what I found an extremely satisfying watch finally in the theaters. I'm talking about Ben Affleck's latest directorial venture, and of course it stars him in the central character role as well, Argo. A film about a very freakish incident about the Iranian hostage crisis in 1980 when 6 American people who worked at the American embassy in Iran were held captive for a period of almost over two and a half months, and they were rescued by a CIA agent named Tony Mendez.
What we like for this are bicycles.
Deliver the 6 bikes, provide them with maps.
Or you could just send in training wheels and meet them at the border with Gatorade.
It's gonna take a miracle to get them out.
Now, this is a true story, and as freakish as the next part that I'm going to tell you is about to sound, that's how freakish the truth can actually be. And what I loved about this film is how it juxtaposes and is not afraid to look at and combine the sublime with the ridiculous. So, in terms of the story, it's very simple. Affleck sets off by taking us into a very gritty sort of gives us a voiceover narration. You feel like you're going to be drowned into what is a political thriller. But the opening sequence reminded me of Persepolis. Persepolis meets like a 9/11 or any of the documentaries that we've seen about the Middle East and the American sort of role in the Middle East in recent times. So that opening sequence makes you believe that you're going into a very gritty sort of realistic political thriller. But suddenly the film veers in a totally different direction, which without losing the strength of its narrative, the strength of its story, which is in its essence very bizarre. The CIA agent Tony Mendez and suggests the most freakish sort of crazy way to get these Americans out of Iran. What is that? No, they don't pose as teachers, they don't pose as activists, they don't pose as any of the things that you might expect. They pose as a team of Canadian filmmakers making a science fiction film. So, enter some loopy characters from Hollywood, including John Goodman and a superb, stellar Alan Arkin, who's always fantastic. And suddenly you're blending the realism of the actual on-ground danger of the atrocities that are existing in Iran, and the danger that these 6 captives are actually in, with a sci-fi sort of a script reading with these crazy actors in costumes in Hollywood. And that scene for me was one of the most powerful in the film, in a very understated way, without hammering the point home, without making a song and dance about it, without sort of grilling things into your head, and without any sensationalism. And what I loved about Affleck's direction is that he manages to kind of get you by the gut, and I'm talking, watch out for the second half, because that one really makes you sit at the edge of your seat. So he makes a really tense political thriller with really tense moments. There's a realism, there's a sense of urgency, and there's a quietness, and there's a determination with which he tells his story, which I absolutely loved. The script is excellent. The performances are pitch perfect. Whether it's like I mentioned, John Goodman, Bryan Cranston, who plays Affleck's boss. Affleck himself tends to kind of restrain himself a lot in his performance, which works for the film. And it seems to me like he was not trying to kind of overshadow the other actors or the plot of the film itself. One other thing that really stood out for me in this one is the imagery. Now, we know filmmaking and cinema is a visual story more than anything else. And there are a lot of images in this one that really stand out. Muslims eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. The Hollywood symbol that on Hollywood Hills, all broken down. What is that really saying to us? A young Muslim child putting together a sort of trying to piece together the image and the face of one of the American captives, so that the militants can go and sort of make sure that they don't leave Iran. I mean, there are images that work on multiple levels, and I loved the juxtaposition of the sublime and the sort of ridiculous that constantly seems to happen. I mean, one level, you're trying to make a movie, and you're dealing with all this Hollywood sort of razzmatazz and craziness and loopiness, and at the other level, there's actually real danger, imminent danger, and present and felt danger, and palpable danger. So this one really kind of blends those two and forces you to kind of look at both of them all at once. And I think that's just one of the greatest feats of this one. Argo, Ira says, catch it, and Argo, go see for yourself. You'll know what I mean when you watch the film.
We're responsible for these people. I'm responsible.
You really believe your little story is going to make a difference when there's a gun to our heads?
I think my little story is the only thing between you and a gun to your head.